Okay. So, you know, the title of this one, this just comes from the textbook, says using linear equations in slope-intercept form. I don't know if that's exactly the way it seems like when you're going through it. Like I said, in the last lesson, we learned how you can write the slope-intercept form if you know the slope and the y-intercept. In this one, they're not going to give us the y-intercept. Right? They might give us the slope and a point, but they might give us 2 points that don't include the y-intercept. Right, that's what's different about this one. So let's see how this goes. Right, again, in the last lesson we wrote the slope-intercept equation of a line when we knew the y-intercept and the slope, or the y-intercept and another point on the line. In this lesson we learned to write the equation when we don't know the y-intercept, which is much more likely the kind of problem you'd be given on an SOL or something like that. So, write the slope-intercept form of a line that passes through the point -1, 3, and has a slope of 4. Okay, so again, we're going to be using the slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. Right, and we know the b, right? The b is right there. They told us that. But we don't know... Sorry, I said that backwards. That is the m. That's the m. So I know now that it's going to be y equals -4x plus b. And now we need to find the b. Okay, but what's the one other piece of information they gave us? They gave you a point, right? Now remember, go ahead. Yeah. They gave us a point. We know that there's like infinitely many points on this line. But if they give you 1 point where you know that the x value goes with that y value, then you can substitute it for x and y. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to substitute the x equals -1, the y equals 3. So let's put that information in that. Right? Y is 3. X is 1. Oh, it's a -1. -1. -1. Okay. So see how I just substituted with that point, -1, 3. I put the -1 in the place of x. I put the 3 in the place of y. So now it says 3 equals -1 times -4 plus b. I mean, there's an equation that only has one variable, so we should be able to solve for it, right? 3 equals -4 times -1, 4. Solve for b. Subtract 4. -1 equals b. Okay, so we already knew the slope. Now we know the b, so here's our equation. Y equals -4x minus 1. So if you know the slope at any point, meaning not the y-intercept, use the slope-intercept formula for a linear equation to find, it says bind, to find the y-intercept, right? So use this y equals mx plus b, right? If you already know the m and you've got a point that will give you the x and the y, then the only thing you won't know is the b. So you substitute and solve. Okay, try this one. Oops, that went too fast. Try that one. Try to just repeat exactly. Again, we know the slope, so we can write y equals mx plus b is the starting point. I can fill in the slope because the m is 2. And then I can use this one point where I know both the x and the y value and substitute in this equation. The y is 3, the x is 6, and I don't know the b, but now I got an equation which is just one variable, so I should be able to isolate it. Right? 3 equals 12 plus b. Right? That's a one-step equation. Subtract 12. Okay, so up here we knew everything but the b. Now we know the b. We fill in for the b. Y equals 2x minus 9. And if you got like the habit of saying like plus negative 9, I would just say change the plus and negative to a minus. Just make it a minus. Much cleaner that way. Okay, so that was, we had a point and we had the slope. I think now is a word problem where they basically give you that much information. Right? Your gym membership costs $33 per month after an initial membership fee. Okay, what is $33 per month going to represent? So it's a slope, right? When it's got to see that per month, right? So we can tell that right away. That's going to be the m. Okay, you paid a total of $228 after 6 months. Okay, what did they just tell us there? They gave you an xy. They gave you a point, right, where you know the two values that go together. So you can use, cost and months if you want, or you could just use x and y. It doesn't matter which way you want. If I use c for cost, m for the number of months, right, that means I have these two values. I know that the m is going to be 33. And the one point that I know is 220, sorry, that was wrong. That after 6 months, it costs 228. So now we're going to do exactly what we did on the last two slides. Yeah.
You said there's 33 months?
No, I'm saying there's $33 per month is how much you're paying. Right. So, I mean, 1 month, 33. 2 months, 66. 3 months, 99. Just keep adding another 33. So here's our equation. C equals 33 times the number of months plus a b that we don't know. Okay, but this is not x, y. This is actually m and c. So we can plug in this equation. 228 goes on the right, on the left. M. I got that wrong, don't I? Oh, because we're using m for months, so I got to fill in 6 plus b. Do the math. 228 equals, what's 6 times 33? 198 plus b. Subtract. Right, subtract. B equals, what's 228 minus 198? 30, right? So now I can fill in this equation, right? I already knew the slope, so it's C equals 33 times the number of months plus 30. So the initial fee must have been 30. Okay, now find the total cost after 9 months. How am I supposed to use that 9? Yeah, substitute the 9 for m, right? So now the cost will be 33 times 9 plus 30. Somebody calculate. Say again? 327. That sounds like a lot of money. Just to go to the gym. You could just go running or something like that, right? Buy a pair of shoes. Okay, so now we don't have the slope and a point. We got 2 points. So how do you think we'll proceed if all we know is 2 points? What can we do with 2 points? Find the slope, right? So if you just have 2 points, then the natural first thing to do is calculate the slope, right? Remember that the y's go in the numerator and the x's go in the denominator. So it should be -1 minus 5 divided by 2 minus negative 2, right? That's like saying negative 6 over positive 4, which is negative 3 halves. Okay, well now we've got the slope. That's what we had on the problems before. Before we had the slope and 1 point. Now we've got the slope and 2 points. So how could we proceed? You mean you're pretty much, you just have to pick a point. You could use either one of those 2 points. You will get the same value of b. So after you've calculated the slope, use that and one of those 2 points in y equals mx plus b, and then you can find the b, right? So let's do it like this. Y equals mx plus b, right? We just determined this, the m, negative 3 over 2x plus b. Okay, now we need to use one of those 2 points. Doesn't make any difference. Does anybody have a preference here? Which would be easiest to do our calculations with? The 2, negative 1? Okay, so let's pick this one. So y equals negative 1 times negative 3 halves times 2 plus b. Negative 1 equals, what's negative 3 halves times 2? Negative 3, right? The 2 cancels the 2. And now plus b. So b equals, add 3, 2. b equals 2. Okay, so now we can go back up to this equation right here, and let's update the b. Y equals negative 3 halves x plus 2. Again, if you would have used the other value, it would have given you the same equation. So it won't make a difference in the answer which point you use. You have to choose though. So here's the words. So given 2 points, calculate the slope first, and then use that slope and one of the 2 points, doesn't matter which, to find b. Right? That's the process. Okay. So try to do that with those points there. Okay. So m equals 4 minus negative 2 divided by negative 5 minus 1, which is positive 6 over negative 6, which is negative 1. So y equals negative 1 times x plus b. Okay, then use either point. I'm guessing you probably used 1, negative 2. I'm going to use the other one just to show. I would have probably picked 1, negative 2. But so y is 4, x is negative 5, so that's negative negative 5 plus b. So 4 equals 5 plus b. Subtract 5. Negative 1 equals b. So now I can update my equation. Now that I know both, y equals negative x minus 1. Okay. So now, just like we did in the homework, how do you turn those function values into points? What is the function? What is the point? 4, 9. Right? What is the point? Negative 4, negative 7. Right? Turn them into points. And now you're doing the same thing we did on the last slide, which is calculate the slope. M equals. Now, usually we look at the second point like it's x2, y2, but I'm going to flip it because I would rather, I see that 9 is bigger than negative 7 and 4 is bigger than negative 4. So when I subtract, I'm going to get positive numbers. I kind of like that more. So I'm going to make this my x2, y2. So it'll be 9 minus negative 7 divided by 4 minus negative 4, which is positive 16 over positive 8, which is 2. Okay, so here's the starting point. We know that our slope is 2. Okay, which point do you want to use to substitute? Yeah, I mean, I would usually pick the if it's positive versus negatives, I'm going to pick the positives because less issues with positive numbers. So 9 equals 2 times 4 plus b. 9 equals 8 plus b. So what does b equal? 1. So here's our equation. Y equals 2x plus 1. How can you check that answer? Plug the points in, see that they work. You know, if I put in a 4 here, I get 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. If I put in negative 4, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. So it checks. That's good. Okay. Okay, try that. Try to do the same thing with that. We're giving you function values, turn them into points, and then do what we just did. How many got that? Okay. In next class, we actually learn one more form of a line that we haven't studied yet. It's called point slope, which actually is another way you could find the b. In a way, it's what I would do before I would do this, but this works fine. I always see you guys tend to choose this as the way to go no matter what. Okay, I think I got one more word problem and then we're done. Okay, in bicycle motocross, BMX, racers purchase a 1-year membership to a track. They also pay an entry fee at each race at the track. One racer paid a total of $125 after 5 races. A second racer paid a total of $170 after 8 races. What did they just tell us there? 2 points, right? They just gave us 2 points. I mean, and I'm going to, just so I don't confuse letters, like that one I used M for the X value, and then M is the slope. I'm just going to use X and Y. I'm going to say that Y is the cost and X equals the number of races. Okay, now here's the 2 points they just told us. 5, 125. And 8, 170. So using those 2 points now, we're going to do what we just did, right? Calculate the slope. M equals 170 minus 125. Remember the second number in parentheses goes in the numerator. 8 minus 5. M equals, what is 170 minus 125? 45. Thank you. And divided by 3, so the M is 15. So that's the slope. So again, what does that represent? It's going to be the cost per month, right? And so here's our X, and then we don't know the B. Okay, now we'll use one of those points. How about we pick the smaller numbers, 125. What is 15 times 5? 75. Equals B. Oh, sorry, that was wrong. Not equals. Plus B. Subtract B equals 50. Okay, so now we know everything, right? Here we can say that the equation is, this is the equation for cost. Y equals 15x, $15 per race, plus an initial fee of 50. So, yeah, seems like a lot of money. Okay, that's it. That's the homework. No,